When my fiancé started taking off her shirt and claimed, "There's nothing inappropriate about it. It's just performance," I simply responded, "Then perform your show without a fiancé," and walked away. Be me, 29-year-old Tyler. Married to Victoria for 6 years. Living in Miami, thought life was good. Work as marketing manager at decent company. First time she came home late, didn't think much of it. Second time, maybe a little weird. But by the 7th time, she walked through the door at 2:15 a.m., that stupid smirk on her lips. Smell of expensive cologne that definitely wasn't mine. Something inside me started to rot. Not boil, not break. Just rot slowly from the inside. That Tuesday night was when it truly started unraveling. She tossed her designer purse on the granite counter. Like she was coming back from yoga class, not whatever performance she was pretending to rehearse for these days. She moved through our place like someone who lived alone. No glance toward me. No hello, no acknowledgement. Just walked straight to the stainless steel fridge. Opened a bottle of sparkling water. Took this long, deliberate drink with her back to me. Then she finally said it. "Oh, you're still awake." Been sitting there for 3 hours. Lights off, front door in full view. 2 untouched Corona bottles on the glass table. Said absolutely nothing. She stood there in her ridiculous sequined crop top. Makeup still way too perfect for this time of night. Hair curled in this specific way I hadn't seen her do in years. Like she was going to some photo shoot, or maybe a first date. Not some random Wednesday night dance practice. She saw the look on my face. Didn't even faze her one bit. "Don't give me that look," she said. Shutting the fridge door way too hard. "It's just dancing." Stared at her across our kitchen. Room was dead quiet. Something about the way she said it. It was like a challenge. Like a dare. "Then dance without a husband," I said. Walked out of that kitchen. That's where it technically started. But not really. Should have noticed it all earlier, though. We've been married 6 years now. Victoria used to be warm, playful. Little chaotic in a way that kept things alive. Fell for her because she made every room louder, brighter. But over the last year and a half, something in her started drifting. She got more polished, more cold. Everything about her felt rehearsed. Like she was playing a character named Victoria, who had a husband named Tyler. But she didn't feel anything about him anymore. She picked up new hobbies that didn't include me. New friends I never met. Started using words like energy and alignment. Things she used to roll her eyes at. Then came the dancing. Salsa specifically. The same woman who made fun of couples who posted TikToks in their kitchen was now obsessed with Latin dance nights. Not casually either. Full-on designer dresses, private lessons. Some guy named Carlos she brought up constantly. Like he was just another instructor. No threat, nothing to worry about. Trusted her completely. That's on me. She got more secretive around her iPhone. Started locking her MacBook. Said she was building a new brand. That she needed to protect her business ideas. Believed her like an idiot. Even bought her a new Canon camera for her little home content studio. She kissed me on the cheek and said I was her rock. Yeah, her rock. Heavy and stupid and just sitting there. One Thursday afternoon, I noticed she left her iPad unlocked on the bed. That thing never had a passcode before. She was in the shower. Wasn't even trying to snoop. Just went to pause the music playing from it. But the message banner flashed while my finger was halfway to the screen. "Carlos, you said you'd delete last night's video. I can't stop watching you on top of me." My hand pulled back like the thing was on fire. Didn't even know how to move. Just stood there frozen. My stomach turned to ice. Heard the shower running, water beating down against the tile. Sound of her humming some pop song, like she wasn't casually destroying everything we built. Didn't open the message. Didn't touch anything else. Sat back down on the edge of the bed. The humming stopped. Water turned off. Heard her dry off with the towel. Heard the bathroom door open. She walked out wrapped in a white towel. Looked at me like I was a piece of furniture. She didn't remember buying. "What's up?" she asked. Drying her hair like she had no idea what she just left behind. Didn't ask about Carlos. Didn't even mention the message. Just stared at her. She met my eyes and tilted her head. "What?" she asked again. This time with a little smirk. That smirk. The kind people wear when they've already won. Realized then she wasn't hiding anything. Not because she was bad at lying, but because she didn't care if I found out. Not anymore. Didn't sleep that night. Couldn't sleep at all. She curled up next to me like nothing was wrong. Like she hadn't just been messaging a man, whose name she barely remembered from class. Her arm draped over me in the dark, soft and practiced like muscle memory. For the first time in our 6 years together, her touch made my skin crawl. By morning, something in me had shifted. Not like a light switch, more like a slow grinding of gears, heavy, irreversible. Didn't ask her anything. Didn't confront her. Just watched. And she kept going, rehearsing her role perfectly. Morning protein smoothie, black yoga pants, MacBook open in the sunroom, where she pretended to build her brand. She was texting more now, always with her head low, always with that fake grin. She'd set the phone screen to go dark faster, like I wouldn't notice that tiny flicker of guilt between her fingers. That Saturday, she told me she had a dance workshop across town. All-day event. Said she might stay overnight at Kate's because they were getting drinks after. Didn't want to worry about driving back. Kate, the magic word. Every lie she told was wrapped in Kate's name. Used to think Kate was just one of those convenient friends all women had, always available to back up the story, but vague enough that you never had to hear too much about her. Now I realized I'd never once seen them together. Ever. Not even once. So I called Kate. She answered groggy, probably hungover from Friday night. Hey Kate, quick question. Victoria staying with you tonight? A pause. She didn't say anything to me, why? Smiled to myself. Not because it felt good, because it confirmed everything I already knew. No reason, I said. Thanks. Didn't text Victoria. Didn't give her the chance to twist it. Instead, I got in my truck. Drove across town to the hotel she'd gone to before. The same one with the bar tucked behind those smoked glass windows. Parked 3 spots from the entrance. And waited. My stomach was a knot of steel. Cold, focused. No more guessing. At 8:15 p.m. she pulled in, wearing a white dress I hadn't seen since our anniversary 3 years ago. Hair curled perfectly. Red lipstick. Not a duffel bag in sight. No yoga mat, no dance shoes. No Kate. 3 minutes later, Carlos walked out. Knew it was him immediately. You could just tell. The way he leaned into her. The way she tilted her head back and laughed. Slow and theatrical. The kind of laugh she hadn't given me since 2021. They didn't walk holding hands. They didn't have to. He opened the door. She floated through it, and I sat there watching the last ember of my marriage blink out behind a sliding hotel door. She came home the next day at 11:30 a.m., hair still curled from the night before, makeup smudged like it was painted on 22 hours ago. She didn't even pretend to be tired. Walked into the kitchen, yawned like she was performing in a play, poured herself coffee like she was recovering from a weekend at the spa. Good night? I asked. She froze for a second, just a flicker in her shoulder. Yeah, she said, keeping her back to me. Was fun, we didn't end up going to the workshop. Just chilled, Kate made that lentil soup you hate. Leaned on the counter, arms crossed. Yeah, I called Kate. That did it. She turned slowly, mug in hand. Not surprised, just mildly annoyed, like I'd caught her hiding a shopping bag. Not cheating on me with another man. What are you doing, Tyler? What do you mean? She rolled her eyes. Actually rolled her eyes at me. You're going through some weird phase. First the jealousy, now the stalking. What's next, checking my underwear when I get home? Did you stay at a hotel with him? She laughed. Loud, theatrical, too sharp. Oh my God, you're actually losing it. Walked away. Not because I was defeated. Because I knew I had her. She wasn't scared, she wasn't sorry. She was exposed, and she knew I'd seen everything. And her response was to treat me like I was crazy. That was her move now. Gaslight? Dismiss? Flip it? She was still trying to win. Even though the game was over, and I finally understood. She didn't love me. Not anymore, not even a little. Didn't talk to her for the rest of that Sunday. She noticed, barely. A few passive-aggressive sighs, a slammed cabinet here or there. But no actual effort to reach out, explain, apologize. She just moved through the house like a storm cloud with perfect hair. Like I was the one who had to clear the air. Watched her from across the living room. Legs curled under her on the couch, scrolling her phone like she was browsing the aftermath of someone else's life. Occasionally, she'd smile at the screen. A slow, secret smile. Didn't ask who it was. Already knew. Monday morning, she woke up early. Dressed quicker than usual. Too quick. Tight jeans, black blouse, heels, perfume again. Meeting a supplier, she said. Downtown, probably lunch after. Nodded, chewing toast like it was concrete. She kissed the top of my head. My damn head! And walked out the door like nothing happened. Followed her again. Didn't even feel guilty this time. Needed to see it for myself. Stayed back 5 or 6 cars. Kept it casual. She didn't go downtown. She didn't meet any supplier. She pulled into the same damn hotel as before. This time during daylight. No hiding, no shame. Parked across the street. Sat there with my hands on the wheel. Blood pounding in my ears. Waited 35 minutes, staring at the sliding doors. Waiting to see if she'd come out again. She didn't. She was upstairs with him again. It wasn't just the cheating anymore. It was the certainty of it. The repetition, the comfort. She wasn't slipping up. She was living in it. Like she'd already moved on and forgotten to send me the memo. Didn't go home. Drove to my brother's place. Told him everything. Ryan always hated Victoria. He thought she was fake from day one, but never pushed it. He listened, didn't interrupt. Just sat there, arms crossed, jaw tight. When I was done, he said, "So what are you going to do?" And I realized I didn't know. Had all the pieces. Had the lies, the hotel, the message. Her face when she smirked instead of confessed. But I didn't have a plan. I'd spent so much time watching her fall out of love with me. Forgot to decide what came next. That night I went home. She was already there, barefoot in the kitchen, wine glass in hand, music playing on her phone. She turned, surprised to see me. "Oh, thought you were working late." That's when it happened. Walked up to her, calm, deliberate. Took her phone from the counter and held it up. She lunged for it. Not a panicked reach, not playful. She lunged like I was holding her oxygen. Stepped back. "Who is he?" She blinked, hesitated, then turned into that woman again. The actress, the con artist. "Tyler, you're being insane." "You're obsessed? This is embarrassing?" Nodded, pretending to scroll. "I know about the hotel." She stiffened. "I know you've been meeting him there. I saw you twice." "You lied to my face, Victoria. You lied every single time I asked." And then she laughed. Not a guilty laugh, not nervous, just cold. "You followed me. What are you, 12? Jesus. Couldn't believe it. She wasn't even sorry. She put her wine down, leaned on the counter, crossed her arms like I was the one under interrogation. "You want me to feel bad? Is that what this is?" she asked. "You haven't touched me in months. You walk around like some sad ghost. And now you want to throw a fit because someone else made me feel wanted for 5 minutes." My heart stopped. She saw it land. She liked that it landed. "Carlos actually listens to me," she continued. "He doesn't treat me like background noise." Almost laughed right there. The projection, the irony. I'd been drowning in silence for a year, chasing scraps of connection. And she was accusing me of not listening. Put the phone down on the counter. "I want a divorce." She stared at me. That broke the script. She thought I'd beg, cry, plead. "You're serious," she said, blinking. Dead serious. And that was the first time I saw her falter. Just for a second, her face cracked. Not with guilt, never that, but with fear. Not because she lost me. Because she realized she'd lose control. "No," she said. "We're not doing this like that. You don't get to suddenly act like the victim." "I'm not acting. I am the victim." "You lied. You cheated. You made me think I was crazy." She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Left the room. She didn't follow. Didn't sleep in our bed that night. Couldn't. Lay on the couch, staring at the ceiling. Surrounded by shadows that didn't belong to me anymore. Every creak in the house felt unfamiliar. Like I was squatting in someone else's life. She didn't come out of the bedroom. Didn't say goodnight. Didn't try to explain. And that told me more than anything else had. In the morning, she acted like nothing happened. Came out dressed in leggings and a cropped hoodie. Hair tied up, holding her phone like a lifeline. She poured herself coffee. Looked right at me sitting on the couch. "You're being dramatic," she said. Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Can we talk?" Just that. Like she was already preparing her speech. For when she told her friends that I had the meltdown, said nothing. Was past words, past yelling, past reasoning with someone who was 3 steps ahead in the story. And didn't care if I ever caught up. "I have a meeting," she added, grabbing her keys. "You mean another hotel room?" That stopped her only slightly. She didn't even flinch, just tilted her head and gave me this look. Contempt mixed with exhaustion. "If you're going to be petty, I'll just go." And she did. She walked out. No apology, no denial, no fight. That day I went to a lawyer. Not because I was ready to end it yet, but because I needed clarity, power, something solid to hold on to. After months of walking through emotional fog, the lawyer Patricia was sharp, quick, all business. Gave her the facts. The affair, the hotel, the lying. The emotional erosion of our marriage. She nodded through most of it, scribbling notes, barely blinking. "Do you have proof?" she asked. "Yes." "Good, that will help." Left the office with a folder full of options and a little less weight on my chest. It wasn't over, not yet, but it was moving, and for the first time in a long time, I was the one moving it. When I got home, she was back, sitting at the kitchen table with her laptop open, phone face down, nails freshly done. She looked up when I walked in and squinted. "Where were you?" "Lawyer." She blinked. That got her attention. Are you serious? I was yesterday, I'm still serious today. She closed her laptop slowly. So that's it, you're just done? No, you were done, I'm just catching up. She leaned back, arms crossed, that fake calm covering her panic. This is going to get ugly. You already made it ugly. Tyler, come on, people cheat, people move on. Don't pretend you were some perfect husband. Laughed, couldn't help it. I wasn't perfect, Victoria, but I didn't lie to your face. And sneak off to hotels with another man. While you were home rehearsing speeches about misalignment, she stood up, hands on the table. Oh, so now you're a saint? No, I said, meeting her eyes. I'm just not you. Silence. She didn't know what to say to that. She wasn't used to me being this calm. She was used to the version of me that apologized. For making her feel guilty. That smoothed things over before she even had to explain. That man was gone. That night she texted Carlos. I know because she left her phone on the table for once. And I saw it light up as she walked into the bathroom. Victoria, he's talking divorce now. We need to be careful. Carlos, don't panic. You said he never finishes what he starts. Locked the screen, sat back. Let it all settle in. They weren't just cheating. They were mocking me, plotting around me like I was the side character in my own marriage. But that was the last moment either of them would underestimate me. Was done being the fool. Now I was planning. She started getting nervous. Not the panicked kind, not flailing or crying, but calculated, like someone sensing the tides were changing and the sand under her feet wasn't as firm as she thought. She became careful around me. Her tone softened, her insults vanished, and for the first time in months she cooked. Pasta of all things. The one thing she always said was too boring, to be worth the calories. She lit a candle, poured me wine, waited until I sat down before she started her pitch. I've been thinking, she said. Maybe we rushed into the whole divorce talk. Stared at my plate. Perfect spiral noodles, some garnish she Googled. A meal designed to reset something. Oh, I said. She nodded. We've been through a lot. Maybe we just lost track of each other. She didn't say the words. Not sorry, not I messed up, not I betrayed you. Just we lost track. Like we both wandered into a hotel room and forgot our vows together. Didn't respond. She kept going. I mean, I get that you're hurt. But do you really want to throw away 6 years over something like this? Something like this? That's how she framed it. A detour, a hiccup. As if this was a bad restaurant she chose without telling me. And now we were supposed to laugh about the bill and head home. Looked up at her, calm, steady. You're not sorry. She blinked. Excuse me? You're not sorry, Victoria. You're not remorseful. You're just trying to keep control. That's not true. Did you end it with him? She didn't answer. Stood up, pushed the plate away. That's what I thought. Her expression broke then. She dropped the fork. Let her chair slide out too fast behind her. Tyler, don't do this. You're not thinking clearly. Walked around the table, leaned close. I've never seen anything more clearly in my life. She folded her arms, voice rising. So you want to throw everything away over one mistake? One mistake? Laughed. Was it just once or the first time I caught you? Silence. Then very quietly, you were boring, Tyler. You stopped being interesting. I needed something. It didn't hurt. Not because it wasn't cruel, but because it was the first true thing she'd said in months. She needed something. And she decided to fill that need by lying, sneaking, and humiliating the man who paid for her dreams and caught her when she fell. Let the moment hang. Let her hear the echo of her own words. Then I walked upstairs, pulled my suitcase from the closet, started packing. She followed me, frantic now. Wait, what are you doing? I'm moving out. She laughed, actually laughed. You think I'm going to stay here and let you run off with the sympathy card? This is my house too. Yeah, I said, folding clothes. And the mortgage is in my name. She shut up then. Watched me pack. 25 minutes later, I zipped the bag, grabbed my keys and turned to her. This didn't happen to us, Victoria. You did this, and you don't even regret it. You just regret getting caught. Walked down the stairs. She didn't follow, and as I stepped out the door, suitcase in hand into the cold night air, I realized something I hadn't let myself feel in weeks. Freedom. Stayed at Ryan's. He gave me a spare room without questions, just tossed me a set of clean sheets, left a beer on the nightstand, like some quiet gesture of brotherhood that didn't need words. That night I lay on a mattress that wasn't mine, under a ceiling that didn't hold years of memories, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't feel surrounded by lies. Victoria didn't call, didn't text. She knew I was gone and she didn't chase. That silence spoke louder than any apology ever could. But Carlos, he didn't stay quiet. 3 days after I left, I got a message. Unknown number. Man to man, this doesn't have to get messy. You guys can work this out. She still cares about you. Stared at the screen. At first, I thought it was a prank. But then another message came. Unknown number. I didn't know you were still together. She told me it was over. I didn't mean to blow up your life. And there it was. The first crack in the mirror. He wasn't gloating, he was nervous. Didn't respond. Wasn't going to play chess with a man who brought wine and cologne to my marriage bed, but I screenshotted it. Sent it to Patricia, my lawyer. She replied 2 minutes later. Patricia. Perfect, thanks, that helps. Started building everything. Bank records, photos of the hotel, copies of text logs. Our joint account had unexplained charges. That lined up suspiciously with Victoria's dance nights. Meals, ride shares, one receipt for champagne and room service. The case was shaping up. And the more I looked at it, the less it felt like a heartbreak, and more like a slow-motion robbery. She hadn't just cheated on me. She'd siphoned parts of me until I was too empty to react. And now she was about to lose the upper hand. Sent her an email. No emotion, just a bullet point list of terms, and a short message. Victoria, for our last conversation, here are the first steps toward an uncontested divorce. I have legal counsel. I suggest you get yours. Tyler, she replied 3 hours later. Subject, this is childish. Message, are you seriously turning into one of those guys? The ones who weaponize lawyers and run away from hard conversations. I didn't expect you to fall apart like this. You're acting like a victim in a situation you helped create. Didn't respond. She wasn't angry because I left. She was angry because I left clean, without the mess she was hoping for. She wanted me shattered, yelling, begging. That would have made her feel justified. But I didn't give her that. The next day I got a call from a mutual friend, Jessica. She worked with Victoria at one point, stayed neutral even after things got weird. But now she sounded uneasy. Hey Tyler, I thought you should know. Victoria's been saying some stuff. Stuff like what? That you were emotionally abusive. That you had anger problems. That she was scared of you. The room spun. Jessica paused. I don't believe it, but others might. There it was. The pivot. She couldn't beat the truth, so she started rewriting it, painting herself as the victim. In a story she authored with lies and hotel linens. The scorned wife. The brave survivor of a man who left suddenly and couldn't handle her ambition. That night I sat down and wrote out everything. Every time I paid for her failed business ideas. Every dance lesson I encouraged her to take. Every therapy session I suggested when she said she was disconnected. And every time she made me feel like I wasn't enough, wasn't building a story to destroy her, was building the one that actually happened. Because truth doesn't need a spotlight. It just needs someone to stop being afraid of the dark. Didn't respond to Jessica that night. There wasn't anything to say. That wouldn't make me feel like I was defending myself. In a trial I didn't sign up for. That was Victoria's game now. Muddy the water, make everything so emotionally gray that nobody could tell who bled first. But I was done playing her version of the truth. The next morning, Patricia called. She'd gotten Victoria's lawyer's reply. She's pushing back, Patricia said, not surprised. Wants spousal support? Claims she gave up her career to support yours. Laughed loud and bitter. Her career was a candle business. I built her website for her. I paid her Shopify fees for 3 years. I know, Patricia replied calmly. We've got receipts. But the goal of it, spousal support after everything she did, she wanted to be paid to walk out clean. It wasn't grief she was dealing with. It was strategy. She was trying to cash out on betrayal. It lit something in me. Started writing. Not to her, not to the lawyer. To myself. Wrote it all down. Dates, events, quotes, screenshots. Wrote the night I found the earrings. The way she smirked when I said, divorce. The voicemail. The exact moment she leaned against the kitchen counter and told me I wasn't interesting anymore. And the more I wrote, the clearer the picture became. She wasn't confused. She wasn't lost. She was deliberate, calculated, cruel. In a quiet, polished way that didn't leave bruises. Just permanent damage. That week she showed up at Ryan's. No call, no warning. Just pulled into the driveway in her white SUV. Walked right up to the door like nothing had changed. Ryan wasn't home. Just me. Opened the door, stood in the frame. She smiled. Can we talk? Crossed my arms. You've got 5 minutes. She didn't expect that. Her face twitched, barely, but I caught it. She sighed, folded her arms. like she was trying to stay small. I didn't think it would get this far. I didn't mean to hurt you. Waited. She looked at the ground, then back at me. I made mistakes, I know that. But do we really want to be enemies? Tilted my head. You told people I was emotionally abusive. Her eyes widened. What? No, that's not. You said you were scared of me. I never said. Then she stopped, took a breath, reset. I didn't mean it that way. I was venting. I was just trying to explain why things felt off. Stared at her. You rewrote the story to make yourself the victim. Why? She stepped forward. Because I didn't want to look like the bad guy. You were the bad guy? And that was the first time I saw her really look at me, not the man she could manipulate, not the one who'd fold the second she used her voice, but the version she didn't think I could become, the man who wouldn't flinch. I want what I'm owed, she said suddenly. The mask cracked. I gave you my 20s. I supported you through everything. You don't just get to walk away like I was nothing. You supported me? I laughed. I was paying your rent before we even lived together. You bought a camera and called it a business. You're being cruel. No, I said. I'm being honest, try it sometime. She looked past me into the house, as if some version of us still lived there, and she could rewind the clock by sheer will. But it was gone. All of it. You won't win, she said softly. I'll make sure of that. Nodded. You've been trying to win this whole time. That's the difference between us. You treated our marriage like a contest. I treated it like a promise. She turned without another word, walked back to her car, and when she drove away, something inside me finally shut off. Not anger, not sadness, just the last flicker of hope. That maybe somehow we could have salvaged anything from the ruins. She wasn't capable of remorse. And I was done building bridges for someone who lit everyone on fire. The next few days moved like glass under bare feet. Slow, sharp, deliberate. Every step forward hurt just enough to remind me how deep everything had gone. But I didn't stop. Gathered every document, every message, every timestamp. Called Patricia twice a day. We lined up timelines, account withdrawals, irregular transfers. She was good, ice cold, and surgically efficient. Every lie Victoria told, we had the receipts now. But Victoria wasn't going quietly. Started getting calls from mutual friends. People who had been at our wedding. People who held champagne flutes and smiled in photos, now buried under digital dust. At first, the tone was cautious. Hey man, just checking in. Victoria told me you guys were going through something. Then it shifted. Victoria said you've been struggling with anger issues. That you got obsessive. Obsession. There it was again. That was the word she'd chosen for the campaign. Not hurt, not betrayed. She called it obsession, as if I was just some insecure husband who couldn't handle her independence. Like the hotel, the texts, the voice message, all just hallucinations I stitched together. To punish her for being alive, but I didn't defend myself. Not to them. Didn't need to. The truth was building its own momentum. And the cracks in her story were getting harder to paint over. And then came the twist. Thursday evening, 7:45 p.m., Ryan and I were eating on the porch when a silver sedan pulled into the driveway. Recognized the plates immediately. Carlos. He got out looking like a man halfway between guilt and fear. Tucked in shirt, nervous smile. His eyes scanned the porch, like he wasn't sure if I'd meet him with words or fists. Can we talk? Ryan stood up. I'll be inside, he said to me. Eyeing Carlos once, then disappearing through the door. Didn't stand. You've got 60 seconds. He rubbed the back of his neck. Look, I didn't know, not at first. She told me you were separated. That you'd been emotionally checked out for a long time. Did that sound true to you? I asked. Or just convenient? He didn't answer that. He shifted, looking down at his shoes. She's been saying I pushed her into it. That I took advantage. She said she's thinking about filing something against me. If this divorce tanks her financially, stared at him. She's not loyal to anyone, is she? He shook his head. I thought I mattered. She made it seem like we had something real. But now I don't even know if she meant any of it. Laughed. Welcome to the club. He sat on the edge of the porch step, not too close. I just wanted to say sorry for whatever that's worth. I shouldn't have gotten involved. I see that now. Didn't answer right away. Then I said, you didn't break my marriage. You were just the last nail in a coffin she built with every lie. He nodded, quiet. Before he left, he handed me something. A flash drive. She sent me a bunch of videos, messages. She said to delete them, but I figured you might need the truth more than she needs her secrets. He walked back to his car. drove off without another word. Held the drive in my hand. Cold, small, heavy in the way a bullet is heavy. Not because of its size, but because of what it can do. That night, I plugged it into Ryan's laptop. There were 6 videos. One of her dancing in a hotel room, in that white anniversary dress. Laughing, lips stained with wine. Carlos's voice in the background. Another of her saying, "He'll never leave, he's too weak. I can do what I want." Another, her on the phone pacing. "I don't care what he finds. Let him spiral, it makes me look better in court." And then silence, just me in that chair, watching everything I thought I loved rot on screen. It didn't break me, it freed me. Didn't need to wonder anymore. Didn't need to remember good moments, and ask if they were ever real. Had the truth now, undeniable on record. Emailed Patricia the files. And I slept that night, for the first time in weeks. Not because it didn't hurt anymore, but because I finally knew I wasn't crazy. The final week before the court date came fast. It felt like the whole world shifted into place around me. Every lie she told, every move I made since the night I said, "Then dance without a husband," all of it funneled toward this one moment. Victoria, of course, tried one last play. It was a text this time. "Victoria, we don't have to destroy each other. We can settle this like adults. You're not gaining anything from turning it into a war." Stared at the screen for a long moment. She wasn't reaching out from remorse. She was cornered. And when people like her feel the walls closing in, they don't apologize. They negotiate from fear. Didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded it to Patricia. She replied with one line. "Hold steady, it's almost over." 3 days later, we stood across from each other, in a glass-paneled mediation room downtown. Her lawyer was polished, composed. Victoria wore white again. She always chose white when she wanted to perform innocence. She didn't look at me when I walked in. Sat down, folder in hand. Patricia placed the USB drive on the table, like a holy relic. "We have video," Patricia said plainly, "and we have statements. Misuse of joint funds, documented dishonesty, emotional manipulation. He's willing to settle quietly. But let's not mistake that for weakness." Victoria flinched. First time I'd seen her react to anything in weeks. Her lawyer leaned in, whispered something. Victoria's lips tightened. Then for the first time, she looked at me. Didn't smile, didn't smirk. Just watched her. Watched her blink through the realization that her usual script wasn't working, that the man across from her was no longer the one she could twist with half-truths and crocodile tears. She didn't cry. Instead, she folded. Her lawyer adjusted their offer. No spousal support. She agreed to waive any claim to my pension. She could keep the boutique inventory. And the second car I bought her last Christmas. It was over in 32 minutes. The walk to the elevator was quiet. We stood side by side waiting for the doors to open, like strangers in a bank line. Could feel her glancing at me, testing the air between us. "I never meant to hurt you, Tyler," she finally said. Nodded once. "No venom, just truth." "Yes, you did. You just thought I'd never leave." She looked down, lips pressed together. When the elevator dinged, I stepped inside. She didn't follow. She just stood there gripping her purse, like it might hold whatever version of me she thought she still had power over. As the doors closed, I saw it. The first glimpse of regret, not because she missed me, but because she finally understood. I wasn't coming back. Back at Ryan's, I sat in the driveway for a long while. The sun was dipping behind the rooftops, that golden hour haze softening everything. Looked down at my hands. They didn't shake anymore. Wasn't broken, wasn't bitter. I was free. That night, I took the box of wedding photos, tossed them into the fire pit behind Ryan's house. Watched the edges curl, the smiles melt into ash. Not out of anger, out of necessity. Some stories need to burn before you can breathe again. And for the first time in years, A month passed. No texts, no calls, no late-night dramatics from Victoria. Just a silence that felt less like absence, and more like air clearing after a long, brutal storm. Moved back into the house. My house. Had it scrubbed top to bottom. New sheets, new locks, a new couch. Kept some of the furniture, but only what didn't hold a pulse of memory. The rest went to the curb or the donation center. Starting over didn't mean erasing the past. It meant refusing to live in its shadow. Repainted the bedroom walls, not because I needed the color change, because I needed to own the space again. Sometimes I'd catch myself walking down the hallway and bracing for something. An argument, a comment, the cold silence that used to greet me at the door. Then I'd remember she's not here, and the quiet stopped feeling heavy. It started feeling peaceful. Word got around. A few of our mutuals reached out. Some apologized, others didn't. The ones who stayed neutral, I let them go. Neutrality, I learned, is just passive loyalty to the louder side. And Victoria was loud, she always had been. But now, without the spotlight of my attention, her voice didn't carry like it used to. Heard through Jessica that Carlos left the state. Said something about starting over. He probably thought a fresh zip code would rinse off the guilt. Don't wish him well. Don't wish him harm. Just don't wish him anything. That's the difference between moving on and moving through. One tries to erase, the other accepts and climbs out of the wreckage. Bleeding maybe, but alive. One night, about 7 weeks after the court signed the final papers, found the old photo strip from our second anniversary. It was tucked behind a book in my office. 4 little frames of 2 people who looked happy. Stared at it for a long time. Then I folded it in half and put it in a drawer. Not to save it, but to let it stay dead. Victoria texted me once more, 4 months to the day since I left. Victoria, just wanted you to know I've been thinking a lot. Hope you're okay? Stared at the message, read it twice. Then I deleted it. No reply. Not because I wanted to be cruel, but because I was finally done writing chapters. She'd already set on fire. Sat outside that evening, a glass of bourbon in hand. The dog at my feet. The sky above me wasn't offering answers. Just space. And for the first time since the unraveling began, I wasn't searching for meaning in what she did. I was finding peace in what I chose. She said it was just dancing. I said, then dance without a husband. She did, and I walked away.